That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And today we're talking about the latest. What is this, Dragon? Is it a Marvel movie, Pixar? I don't know. Star Wars, Disney. It's got to be something, right? It's got to be some sort of franchise, right? Franchise. It's got to be. It's a blockbuster released in the summer starring Ryan Reynolds. Dragon, what sort of franchise is this?
The answer is it's not. It's not precisely a franchise. It's
Wait,
it
did you
spits
just say it's not a franchise?
Well, I mean, not yet, at least, but yeah.
It's not a franchise?
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm doing a bit, as you can tell.
I noticed. I could see the flies buzzing around that bit, but yeah, here we are.
Yeah, guys, I genuinely exciting. So yeah, Free Guy. This is I mean, yeah, it will become a franchise. I can probably guarantee you.
I'm pretty sure it was confirmed today that actually they're going to make it a franchise. But yeah,
Dragon, I have a perfect pitch for Free Guy too. You want to know what it is? Just right off the bat, you can get the title you can get the premise just by the title. All right.
Well, it doesn't seem there's anything you can do to dissuade you. So sure, what do you got?
Free Dude.
Right.
I don't know. I just think Dude is the main character. We'll get there. We'll get to Dude.
Okay.
I'm buzzing about Dude.
Again, folks, right. Spoilers.
Well, it says SpoilerCast right there on the title. Yeah, it's a SpoilerCast, people. Dude. Okay, so, Dragon, I give this movie about an 8 out of 10. And I say that off the top just to say, like, I'm not, like, absolutely raving about it. Like, oh, my God, it blew my mind. It's so original. It's a solid movie, and it's a solid blockbuster, and I really like the ideas executed in it, you know? It's a solid idea done right. Honestly, Dragon, the 8 out of 10, I take 1 point off because not really, like, as much as I love Taika Waititi, I wasn't really a fan of what he was doing here. I think it was a little too over the top. And also, I didn't really care about the romance stuff. I thought, well, let's just say I cared way more about the romance stuff between Guy and Molotov Girl than the real world romance with Dragon. Quell my curiosity because I didn't bother to look it up. That is Steve from Stranger Times, right?
Okay, first of all, Stranger Things, not Stranger Times, and secondly, you're joking, right? You this is a bit.
It's got to be Steve.
You're doing a bit right now, right?
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's Joe Keery, the actor who plays Steve from Stranger Things.
I'm just making sure I didn't recognize the name.
How did you not recognize? You saw the hair on this kid. You know who it is.
I'm just making sure.
Anyway, yes.
All right. I don't need him to be in the movie. I like Steve. I felt his character was rather superfluous, and he kind of took up a little too much screen time. Those are nitpicks, though. Overall, this is a very solidly executed movie, Dragon. It kind of, it brings me back to the days of, the 90s high-concept comedies, the Jumanjis, the Groundhog Days, that kind of flavor of comedy where it's like a high concept, a good actor, a script that does the concept justice. And I mean, I will admit I wasn't like jumping up and down like busting a gut at this movie or anything. I honestly thought the humor maybe landed with me maybe about 50% of the time. But what this movie lacks in humor, at least for me, that might be subjectivity because I think it's a lot of gamer jokes and millennial jokes, and I don't really like. I don't know. I feel like an old man for saying this, but like I don't really get the gamer culture these days.
Get off my digital lawn.
Right. But I mean, other than like to be fair though, the world building in this movie is absolutely fantastic, absolutely worth the price of the mission, absolutely probably the reason why people are going gaga over this. That and Ryan Reynolds. I mean, Dragon, I know you're a big Ryan Reynolds guy, of course, but I would say this is absolutely the movie that proves that Ryan Reynolds can be more than just Deadpool. Like, this is, I would say this is probably a big career definer for him is, like, a versatile lead where it's like he could do something like Deadpool, but he can also pull something like this off where Guy himself, the character, goes through a big arc in the movie and we see a lot of layers to Reynolds in this movie, way more than we see in the actual trailer. So, like I said, Dragon, there's two problem characters for me, and they're both actors I like, which is a shame. But other than those two problem elements, I think this is a pretty damn good time. I really do. Do I think it needed to be 2 hours long? It is a rule. I generally think comedy shouldn't be 2 hours long. So, kind of taking away a point for that. But, I want to emphasize, Dragon, an 8 out of 10 is not a bad score. I still had a hell of a good time with this. I'm not necessarily in love with it, but I think it's very original and fresh, and the world building is awesome. So, I just want to emphasize I have my issues, but I am way more positive on this thing than negative.
All right. So, yeah, Free Guy, along with Black Widow, was my most anticipated film for 2020, which kept
Womp, womp,
getting delayed and delayed, and so on and so on, for so long, to the point where we had this hilarious, basically kind of teaser for a trailer where you have Reynolds and company saying, they literally covered their bases for, it being delayed constantly just by making fun of the delays. It was hilarious. It's the fact that we don't know when it's going to come out, but it's just to cover all the holidays and everything. Anyway, yeah, I love this so much. I really did. It's one of my favorites of the year so far. I'm really gaga for it. I think this is Sean Levy's. I don't know if it's Levy or Levy. Sean Levy's.
Levy.
I think this is Sean Levy's best since the first Night at the Museum film. I really do. It's probably the best video game movie. I know it's not a high bar there, but I think it's probably the best in that regard. I don't know. It's not just.
It's not a video game movie. It's a movie about video games.
All right, fine. Deflate the balloon. Fine.
I'm sorry. Everyone's Dragon. I'd say that not just for you, but I've been seeing that floating around a lot, and I just want to distinguish the difference. Like, you can make a great movie about video games. That's been done way back in the 80s. It was called The Last Starfighter. It was like, that's not a hard concept to nail. What's a hard concept to nail for Hollywood is a movie about a specific video game. So, I'm sorry, I don't mean to, we've got Wreck-It Ralph, we've got Tron, so it's like, there's a precedent set there. But this is a good it is a good step in, that kind of, realm, for sure. This is certainly a way better Ready Player One, for example. Go ahead.
All right, fine. Regardless. I love that this is not just great commentary on gaming, pretty much what Ready Player One wishes it was.
Yeah, I will agree with you there.
It's this refreshing wake up call about the human experience and kind of the values of our culture's been kind of forgetting about. We're in many respects. I'm just very pleased and impressed with this. I think this is a lovely film. I was very happy with it. Obviously, I'm in the bag for Ryan Reynolds quite a great deal, but this film really delivered, and of course, I think did the most with having Ryan Reynolds in your lead. I think it did a great job. It lived up to the hype in my heart for like this year and change. I was very satisfied.
Cool. Yeah, Dragon, like I said, I think I'm a couple notches below you in hype, but I'm still pretty close. So it's like, I want to emphasize the scale here is not quite as off as you might think it is. But
sure. Play the jury. See where it gets you. Sure.
Yeah. Where do you want to start?
Well, I think maybe we should start overall with just kind of the story in general. So, I mean, this movie. The story of this film, it's kind of, I'm not just trying to be reductive by using comparison here, for simplicity's sake. It's kind of like a unique amalgam of the Lego movie and Ready Player One, but it works,
I also get just a tiny bit of Groundhog Day, just a splash, just a spice of Groundhog Day, a little Groundhog Day spice, just for some extra flavor.
Yeah, it's more like the gamer kind of reset thing, where you get killed off, you restart. That's Well,
I'm talking about that, but I'm also talking about the repetitive motions of the townspeople that are very friendly and all that.
Right.
But
yeah. I just think the concepts ever since the first trailer and just seeing it now, having seen the movie, I just think the concepts insanely clever. Like, what if an NPC, a non-playable character for the layman's like I was out there, for the NPCs, was the hero of the story, which you never see, and just deciding to Just basically a character. What if an NBC decided to change up the monotonous and mundane role in a Grand Theft Auto-esque game? You know, kind of a more multiplayer-esque Grand Theft Auto sort of thing.
Well, it is. Grand Theft Auto 5 is very multiplayer, so
Oh.
this is pretty much Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. I would say it's Grand Theft Auto 5 mixed with like just a little bit of oh my god, the fact that I'm forgetting the name of it. Fucking Fortnite, yeah.
Right.
That's a good sign that it's kind of falling out of public consciousness, though. But it's got a little bit of Fortnite flavor thrown in there with like the over-the-top gestures and costumes and stuff, but it's mostly GTA.
Yeah. And I'm just honestly, tell you what I really walk away with the movie, and the thing I think I'm most impressed with overall is outside of just the Ryan Reynolds factors, this Guy character we're going to talk about and all the layers there. I mean, ultimately, I'm in love with the theme and the moral of the film. I just love the positive notion of, hey, let's for a change in like the Grand Theft Auto world, let's not champion and glorify crime and mayhem. What if we channeled that into preventing it? Like Guy does, I just love seeing Guy's deeds, going viral and winning the world over. I think that's such kind of a lovely, inspiring sort of like kind of thing to bond everyone together. Like, man, look at that little blue shirt guy go. Look at him.
It's the ultimate look at him go, Dragon.
Yeah, look at him. I keep going back to when they did the marketing of this film was really great too, because when Reynolds is involved, he does some of the greatest kind of hilarious marketing. You have like the Deadpool and Korg reacting to the trailers.
Oh, Reynolds is a marketing, like, oh my god, yeah, like I would hire Reynolds onto my film, honestly, like for the marketing element alone. That dude's a genius marketer.
You've seen his marketing for like the companies that he has, right? Like the Aviation Gin and like the Sprint Mobile thing. Well, not Sprint Mobile, something mobile.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, of course, Korg and
those
Deadpool
are the commercials that Matthew McConaughey wishes he made.
I think my favorite shorthand in thinking of the film from a marketing standpoint is look at him go in that little blue shirt. It's just Deadpool's like, look at him go in a little blue shirt.
Oh, God.
It's adorable. So, I mean, yeah, I just love that. That to me is like the big grounding element of the film where it's like, let's just get together over something positive, just this anomaly of like everyone's just kind of so jaded when they're playing these games. And historically, you've always had that thing with a lot of games where it's that sort of like, are we glorifying violence, which many times is unfounded. But then again, over the years, it's less that it's corrupting the youth. It's more of like it's kind of directing them down a path of we need to release all this tension in a way that's out of context looks really kind of like not so good.
Yeah, the themes of the movie were definitely one of the better elements for sure. Theme, world building, character, those were like the three strong suits for sure. Yeah, and Dragon, I am pretty tickled that in this month, like 1 week after another, we've gotten blockbuster films that have like incredibly strong themes behind them, like both Suicide Squad and this. I really think they are built on, the core of them are built on morals and ideas. And honestly, I think the Suicide Squad maybe does that a little better than Free Guy, just because I'm so in love with the rat catcher symbolism in that movie. I've watched the movie like 3 or 4 times now. Every time I fall more and more in love with the rat symbolism. But honestly, Free Guy might be a movie where it's like, like first time I watched Suicide Squad, I was at like an 8 out of 10. Now I'm at like a 9, 10 out of 10. So I might just need to, like, I wouldn't be surprised if I watch Free Guy again. I got a lot more out of the details, so. Dragon, honestly, do you want to just unpack the 2 problems I have with it and maybe kind of like change my... What?
Well, I'm sure. I mean, I also have like a problem with the film myself as well, but yeah.
Well, let's go through that, because I feel like this is a really easy movie to just kind of like heap praise onto. So I feel like that might be an interesting kind of jumping off point to start with is criticism. So, Dragon, you know my criticism. So what's your main one?
Well, it's one that I can live with. It's more I don't know. It's a nitpick, but it kind of sticks out. So something that we do in the film now. We had this bit in the film where we check in with kind of the reactors and the YouTubers and the gamers, and For the most part, it's like, it's kind of a reactionary thing. I love it. Again, that's what I'm saying. I like when we see the world kind of responding well. Like we have, like, I believe, like the the Japanese, or like the Asian kind of representation of like the kids
The
cosplaying as.
Japanese were my favorite. They were delightful.
Yeah, like that's great. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Like seeing like the world kind of come around on them there, that's fine. But I think there's a frequency thing where after a while we do a little too much. But then we have one scene that really just, I think, is like where we went a step too far and it really stuck out. The Channing Tatum scene. So we have a character. Okay, so basically, we have this big set piece in the movie where, okay, we need to get like the record, basically the proof that we need to prove that the game is based upon free life. That free life is actually the basis for free city. And basically we had a really cool action set piece. But then we have to go back there. Guy has to go back to get the footage, and his newfound popularity wins some major points with the basically the guy who owns that place, who is
what's crazy? I totally didn't even recognize that was Channing Tatum.
Yeah, yes, that's Channing Tatum as the avatar, I guess, or the player. And in reality, it's a Stranger Things alumni. It's the guy who runs the arcade from Stranger Things, playing the the guy on the other end of it. Now that's also where we. I think we went a little cynical with okay, I understand we probably have to hit the trope once because I think we tee it up there. It's kind of like what we did with Ready Player One. We keep teeing up that there's going to be the guy in his basement, or like the negative kind of portrayal of the gamer. And I think we hit that a little too hard here when he's being really creepy to Guy, and he's doing like the weird humping dance and everything, and it's like, and then of course like he's yelling at his mom about the sock and everything. So that's where
the mom stuff. I thought the mom stuff was funny. I thought that was executed well. I don't know.
I mean, look, I'm saying it's hilarious when he's yelling to somebody while he's right there. Like that's hilarious.
Exactly.
To me.
Yeah.
But I just think what he's saying to her and everything is landing on a cynical note where I think the movie on the whole is rather optimistic. It's like, guys, we've done such a great job through the whole movie of subverting these obvious tropes, and yet that moment, it's like we just kind of hit that note because it's obligatory. Or I feel like, guys, we were doing so well. Like we have this great moment, like the bombshell lady, like the bombshell girlfriend lady, like your Grand Theft Auto thing. What is it? Like you kidnap prostitutes or something? Is that what it is in Grand Theft Auto?
You do a lot of stuff in Grand Theft Auto.
That's what I'm saying. The point being is like it's taking something where, okay, you steal a woman, that woman becomes your girlfriend in the game or something, where you have that. It's just, hey, like you don't need a man, write a book, and she writes a book.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. We subvert all these things really nicely, and yet this is like the one time in the movie where it's like, okay, well, we hit the that scene happened.
I hear what you're saying. I totally
it doesn't kill the movie at all. I just think it's like the one part of the movie that kind of falls short for me. I'm loving everything else.
I think the one thing that kind of saves that scene for me is just the fact that the actual execution is pretty funny.
Yeah, the execution is funny. It's just I wish the content where it wasn't just, it was like it made a left turn instead of the right turn.
Okay, so let's address my problems, and I feel like my Dragon Taika Waititi to me is that was the big one. And I hate to say that. I usually love Taika.
It's so weird because I thought I was going to hate Taika Waititi in the film, but I ended up not because I thought the writing on him was really on point. It's a biting parody, but it's a good parody, though.
I don't know. I didn't really think the writing on him was all that great, if I'm being honest. I think this might be maybe one of the more interesting points here that we're going to hit on is, like, for me, I just thought he was a very one-dimensional, like, hey, I mean, he's a very one-dimensional corporate, money grubby villain with a bit of Taika Waititi charm. It's like, I don't know.
Okay, let me use an example.
The fact that he's just obsessed with the profits and like he very much flip flops of like, yeah, I like this guy, and then randomly, no, I don't like this guy, and he's like just a very, very incompetent CEO. So it's like I don't even find him threatening just because, like, as a businessman, he's just an idiot. I don't know. I really, yeah. Just, yeah.
All right, let me tell you why I think Waititi works, whether you like him or not, why I think he works. Again,
maybe I'm just biased because it's coming off of a beautiful Waititi role.
Yeah, it's funny how that works.
I know, right?
Two really good films have some Waititi in them. So yeah, I mean the thing I thought was so really clever in the writing is that okay, so our villain really represents the big central idea of the film, where okay, IPs and franchises and the numbers. That's it's kind of not just gaming, but also kind of the industry of entertainment and media itself these days, where it's all about it's all about we need the franchise. We're thinking about the sequel before we're even thinking about maintaining the quality of the first film or doing right by like
No, I get that. I get
worrying
that
about
idea.
things
I
like
just think it
credit
was. I just think it
consumers
was
or
hammered.
fans.
Dragon, I get that idea. I just think it was like maybe hammered at home a little. Like, you know how I do that thing where I pump on my fist and I'm like, "Do you get it? Do you get it?" I kind of was getting a little bit of that with Waititi, honestly.
I mean, even so, Tiki. I mean, I putting the idea aside, obviously, again, it's just in the performance. It's sadly accurate. People fail upward in Hollywood and in big business, and you can have an incompetent like that who is going to lead to his own failure. But then again, people need the product, and if there were no guy to really show the light of like, here's what people want, and we have someone on the staff, trying to get that for him. They're offering a better product, which is really his undoing. But had Guy not been in the story, then that guy absolutely the cycle would have kept going. I don't know. I hear it was accurate, and I can absolutely see that it was accurate. But on the writing process, Sean Levy's he's being a guy in the business for a long time. He's seen these guys, hence the model there. And yes, there's some Waititi charm there, but it's like this. It sounds like it's really on the money, and that's kind of why I was gonna get on this guy. Like I don't know, I don't like him, but again, he's not really a good guy, and also it's like yeah, he's really yeah.
I mean, I see your point about like how I guess it's like take a shot, Dragon. I guess it's a little bit of a tone issue. It's a little bit of a tone issue, Dragon. I have a little bit of a tone issue with it. But yes, I'm very much veering into self-parody with myself at this point.
Well, what's really impressive though, something to kind of say though with the whole IP thing. We have the greedy idiot CEO, which again I think is kind of performed well. But by the same token, the thing to be impressed by, Disney was mature enough to allow this. Where again, there's a lot of it's like, hey, imagine other companies who are kind of monopolizing things and also kind of like just throwing a lot of IPs at you.
Honestly, Disney does that. They poke. I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories, but Disney does poke fun of themselves just to be like, hey, look, we're human too, right?
I mean, sure, but just in the context
that is something Disney's known to do.
Sure, but just looking at the film itself, and this was all made before the Disney thing, mind you. This was made before.
Yeah, I know.
But so that's what I'm saying.
I just there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, I honestly kind of feel like I need to have like an intervention sort of podcast just to address all the shit that's been going on with Disney as a company over the last couple of weeks, but that's neither here nor there. There's a lot going down right now. I am pretty damn disillusioned as a fan, but that's neither here nor there. Let's on to happier things.
Right. Well, anyway, again, just with Antoine, the character, again, I think there was a line. You're right. There is a line, though, Tiki. I think there's a line between dumb and short-sighted. I thought he walked it well, but that's my
issue was like, if I'm supposed to take him seriously as a villain, he is like just literally incompetent as a CEO, and that's where my tone issue thing comes in. Does that make sense?
I mean, I hear you.
Like, it's hard to take a villain seriously who's literally just incompetent.
I mean, I hear you, but again, I point out, again, people fail upward. The incompetents are ruling the earth now, unfortunately.
I get you.
And that's why it doesn't bother me, but I hear your point, so there you go.
All right. My more minor point, Dragon, is I honestly just felt like the movie didn't need a love triangle, love story thing. Like having a kind of like weird sort of like high concept relationship with Guy and Molotov Girl. That's fine. Like that, I expect that. And I love the ending there. I love the kind of like the big but less creepy ending, essentially.
Yeah.
Of like, well, we can't see each other anymore, but we've made a big impact in each other's lives, and see you around, kid, essentially. I love all that. I just didn't think we needed to have a second party involved.
I mean, Tiki, I was impressed by
I'm sorry. Oh, God. Call Paige, because it's muddying the waters.
God. Muddying the waters.
But honestly, that's what I felt. It's like, it's not that I dislike this actor. And I honestly thought the role was fine. Like I like the fact that his name is Keys. I gotta think that's a Spielberg reference.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
But but I don't know. I just didn't really think his character was necessary, and I felt like the movie was just a little too overstuffed as it was, with the 2-hour runtime and all that. So, I mean, Watiti, I think, is just a taste thing for me. It's like I totally get what you're saying about the social commentary, and he needs to be in the movie. As much as I hate to say it, like if I had to cut anything out to make this like like an hour and a half, hour 40, I would cut out Keys.
I mean,
he's mostly just there for an assist from time to time.
I mean, you're not wrong. He is there for an assist, but I'd say that's what kind of makes him kind of integral to the film. In that we need an inside man. Okay, we can't. She's suing it. She's suing the company. She cannot be inside the company. We need someone to be there. I mean, regardless of the love triangle,
it has to be romantic, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I am impressed that it doesn't become romantic until the very end, though. And
okay,
that basically,
but what I'm saying is that at the very end is just it's very sudden.
I would argue, though, that again, you saw him put all. We set up through the movie through Guy that again all the things that she likes is in this guy character, and he was the basis for all the Guy stuff, though. That's why I thought that's why it carried well, and then you realize, oh, he was Guy. Essentially, and that was very much the basis.
You know what? Honestly, that might play better for me on a rewatch.
That's what I'm saying, though.
It's like I know what it's building up to.
Because I'd say I was worried we were going to do a love triangle thing. I was so impressed that we didn't, and we just had the adult kind of call out.
To be fair, they don't ever address like that. There's any sort of love triangle going on. It's not. It's not ever called out, and that's good.
Yeah, and we acknowledge it's a little weird that you're kind of falling in love with an AI, but that's about as far as we go with that. He's not
okay. Well, speaking of that, Dragon, I want to segue into one of the big strengths of the movie, outside the real building. I love the way that they show the in-game footage in the real world.
Yeah, you mean how they're streaming the big
yeah. Just the fact that they have basically a graphics engine running a Ryan Reynolds style avatar. It looks great.
Yeah, the visual style of the movie, just in terms of kind of how we depict Free City. So basically, when we're inside the game, it's live action. It looks really impressive. And it looks then, of course, basically the outside world playing the game and just kind of watching the footage. We're making the uncanny valley work for a change.
Totally.
It's really cool. We made the uncanny valley work somehow. Someone call Zemeckis. Call Zemeckis.
God.
But speaking of Free City itself, let's talk about Free City, just the world building and all that sort of stuff for a minute. How cool Free City.
I gotta tell you, aesthetically, Dragon, it's kind of funny because aesthetically, this movie it doesn't look bad. I love all the colors and everything, especially when we get into the the goggle vision, if you will. But the landscape of the city itself kind of reminds me why I'm a Nintendo fan, because it's I like my video games to not be dingy. I don't know. I just think the city itself, it's very creatively done. Don't get me wrong. It's just oh man, this world is very bleak and post-apocalyptic, and I'm not necessarily it's more of a critique on gaming culture as a whole, Dragon, which this movie does do a good critique on. So I want to address. I'm not critiquing the movie when I say that. I'm just that was kind of my reaction to Free City as a setting. Is oh man, this setting is kind of emphasizing why I'm not a fan of these types of games. It is kind of just over the top, and you get it through a more realistic lens, like you said, you can kind of see how stupid and frankly kind of man-childish everything is.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought, with that, I just thought it was a great balance of, the hilariously over-the-top violence, you kind of your Grand Theft Auto meets kind of Fortnite Online, kind of community thing, versus just kind of, the NPC mundanity. So I just love that we kind of saw both sides of the coin so well integrated, and of course it builds to the ultimate reveal of free life, which is, again, it's kind of your pleasant sort of kind of your slice of life, more Animal Crossing fare. It's more of you just go around nice kind of island.
Free life was totally reminded me of Animal Crossing meets Myst.
Yeah, there you go. so yeah,
the concept of Animal Crossing, the setting of Myst.
It's basically this world populated by these bloodthirsty, either trolls or gamers who need to be inspired, and they do get inspired. It's got some great design work. You have this. It's kind of this hub for anything that can happen. Like all
Yeah, I
these.
really like the energy of it. I really like how how animated and lively everything is at any given moment. It feels like a movie that it kind of has that Lego movie vibe of like anything could happen at any time, and it kind of just keeps you on the edge of your seat for all the visual sight gags.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Visually, I think we so we well epitomized in comparison to something like Ready Player One is that we visualize through the players, through the world, but especially again through everyone having like really creative, like really kind of looks and designs and really customized characters. It's emphasizing the theme of creativity versus IP of a Ready Player One.
Uh-huh.
Like we're just gonna, hey, everyone's avatar is essentially, with the exception of our lead characters, who are kind of like sort of like I forget what would you call Parzival? Like, was it like a kind of like a cat thing? Like, what is this? Like an elf or something?
Oh yeah, he was like an elf. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing. So you have
I
like
hate that
these.
design.
That's what I'm saying. With few exceptions, with like the elf design going on, everyone else is like, okay, they are specifically dressed as an IP character. Like you have a whole bunch of joke variations on Joker and Batman, whatever Warner Brothers get their hands on. For Ray Player One, here every character has an interesting look and probably an interesting story, and also a mundane reality,
Mhm.
which I think really
I
plays
was
well
getting
into the
some
central theme.
WandaVision vibes off the top too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a bit of that.
Especially with the moment where he tries to order the cappuccino.
Yes, yes, and we
That
have
was
that great
very
bit when he
WandaVision.
orders the cappuccino. You have the giant tank in the background that just kind of
Uh
senses, hey,
huh.
he's deviating program.
That was very very WandaVision, wouldn't you say?
Yo, no, you're right. It
Yeah.
was. It was. Also, speaking of which, so again, I love that we have a name for the gamers, the sunglasses people.
The sunglasses. That's literally the first line of the movie is like, those are the sunglasses people.
Yep. I love obviously for a lot of the Deadpool stuff. I love Ryan Reynolds doing inner monologue. It's great.
I mean, just to be fair, it's like Ryan Reynolds. I feel like he's not just doing Deadpool again. Far
Yeah.
from it. I mean, what I like about this character is that he's essentially a character who starts out as like kind of like the opposite of Deadpool, and then he evolves into like not Deadpool, but a bit of a charming badass. You know what I mean? A badass who will he'll punch you in the face as quickly as he'll give you a hug. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. Let's just to piggyback off of the sunglasses
Yeah.
back to Guy here. So yeah, you're right, Guy. You're absolutely right about these. Guy is the key of the film. Ryan Reynolds. There was this challenge. It has this great challenge, this wonderful challenge of not playing into his Deadpool instincts, which, of course, I mean, in many regards, some people have pointed out, and they're not wrong about this. This is not a negative thing at all. Is that Ryan Reynolds essentially was put on this earth to be Deadpool. Ergo, a lot of his roles, with very few exceptions, are basically kind of a softened version of the Deadpool character. If you really look at him, some more than others, but instead. You're right, Tiki. We do the opposite. He is a very sincere, very likable everyman. There's nothing really special about him. And again, the arc being we give him the gaming experience, which no NPC has ever had. Ergo, he's just kind of like a mundane ones and zeros guy who actually gets to kind of live a life and actually gets to kind of become an icon. He becomes something special, if you want to put in Lego movie terms. Mm-hmm. Again, just the inspires and charms everyone. It's kind of this channeling is Canadian the Canadian levels of pleasantness, tenfold in this film. One could argue. Yeah, the blue shirt guy. I love. Here's what I love too. And speaking of the evolution, the arc of Guy. The blue shirt is a great run. Everyone identifies him as a blue shirt guy, and of course, working Guy into the title, so his name is always represented.
Do you think it's going to become a Halloween costume?
God, I hope so. I don't think
it's
it will,
really
but I want it.
Halloween costume to do. That's the thing.
I really want it to happen. I don't think it's going to, but I really want it to happen. I think if this thing ended up on Disney Plus sooner rather than later, which for some odd, I won't bother you with it now. But let's just say there's a really weird loophole that's happened, Tiki, where it's not going to go to Disney Plus as soon as you think, and it's really weird. Anyway. So regardless, it's the fact that I like that. Speaking of the look, I I love there's a visual evolution of the uniform. Like he starts off in like the short sleeve, kind of uniform, but every time he has like his out of work clothing, which is like kind of like a Dexter sort of like button up kind of shirt, but it's blue. To when he has like the jacket variation, everything. It's always a blue shirt. He's always blue. Even when he's a giant roided out kind of broy version of himself, he's got
is just in the corner, just being like, it's blue.
Exactly. Just Tuco's having a conniption fit, like, it's blue, but it's blue, and that's also blue.
Oh God,
he's the blue shirt guy. Anyway, so honestly, I kind of with guys role and everything, I've kind of have come to this realization. I think Sean Levy's strength are stories about the 9 to 5 guys who are not trained to be heroes. Totally. Your night. Look at Larry Daly in the Night Guard, not really exactly trained to be a hero, but again, thrust upon him, he fills the role so nicely. And the same could be said for Guy. He's a bank teller, trained not to be a hero, becomes the big hero of the movie.
I just love the montage opening of like we see just how mundane and just like part of the routine it is for the bank to get robbed.
Rel, when little Rel, is it fully little Rel or just Rel?
I honestly don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's Little Rel. I'm just going to call him Rel just to be safe. Rel. So Rel plays Buddy. And the moment that
Buddy is a great character. He's easily one of the highlights.
The moment that the bank robber comes, he looks with a big old smile on his face to his friend there. It's like the way he unclips that belt. It's like, I just love that the way he unclips his belt is the same way like a gunslinger has flourish of pulling out his weapon. It's like, nope. In this case, it's like dropping the belt. That's his big holster move. Dropping the belt. Which is just great. And Buddy, I just love the NPC guard, who of course in this world would be completely pointless because he can't do anything against these players. And he knows it. He just signifies status quo so well, but he's always so darn happy,
I also think he represents like the humanity that can be found within an NPC who's, still like pre-programmed.
He's impressively very supportive and an actual friend, which again, looking at the trailer, there's a chance that might not have happened, where it's like we get actual layers to the guy where it's like he gives him the big epiphany with the advice, like I'm helping my best friend get through a tough time. What's more real than that? Like that's an excellent moment there. It's like also it's a great call out to the whole to put in Toy Story terms. It's the whole you are a toy, you can't fly. Kind of that realization that your life's a lie, that you're you're not real.
Yeah. Oh God, Dragon. Speaking of which, when they got to that big reveal, what movie came into my head?
What movie?
Serenity. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a way, 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 way better executed version of that. But I was like, oh my God, they're pulling a Serenity, and it's actually well built up this time. It doesn't just come bumfuck right out of nowhere.
All right. But I love that. I love that. We didn't drag it out. We didn't have like a whole act where like guys like, oh man, guys are really down in the dumps. He's really like, we had a moment where he's kind of reacting badly to it. Then his buddy comes to save the day here, which reality is what you make of it. It doesn't really matter if you're not real or not. It's what you do with it.
Sure.
With the big old existential crisis, which we don't drag out. But anyway, I'm sorry. So the sunglasses, people. Just the sunglasses pretty much it lets you see the Matrix, so to speak. We have like this great visualizations, like when you put it on, you have like a whole Iron Man HUD that pops up. You can see all. It's like detective mode from the Arkham games meets like an Iron Man sort of thing. You can see all sorts of holographic things pop up around you.
Mm-hmm.
You have all the great kind of like iconic gaming, like shoes that give you like 3 mega jumps, and like the airbag that stops you when you fall from a building.
Both of those things were really fun. That was a really fun action scene just in general. I love that we got the the jumping in there as a reference to Mario / Jumpman.
Oh yeah.
The airbag, honestly, what might have been the most creative visual in the whole movie.
Yeah, it had to be real, like when he's getting out of that thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like when I wish the movie honestly kind of had a few more things like that. What it kind of reminded me of? It kind of reminded me of like the the weaponry in Black Panther, like the sneakers and stuff like that. It's like really cool concepts for weapons and power-ups. I wish we would have seen them just a little bit more.
Okay, so one of the writers on this, and basically this is the best that these two writers have done in a long while. I'm not knocking their work severely. I'm just saying they've been kind of like parts of greater wholes, and the stuff they have worked on has been, it's been good, but not like, A tier. And one of the writers is Zach Penn. Zach Penn has done a number of things, and also game-related things. He directed, and directed and wrote that documentary on, that's why I say writing in quotes, but, he directed that the Atari Game Over documentary.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Game. Anyway, so Zach Penn, he one of the things he worked on, the Inspector Gadget movie, the first one.
Oh boy!
So I definitely got some finding that out. Like, oh yeah, I can see some Inspector Gadget vibes, or like kind of the fun.
But, I mean, Inspector Gadget does fall into the category of like the '90s high concept family comedy that I really do feel like this movie is going for. So
yeah.
Inspector Gadget is certainly on the low tier of that genre, but yeah. Still.
I mean, look, it's a guilty pleasure of mine, but yes.
Oh. I can't say the same. I'm sorry.
I know. But me, I'm a gadget nut, so that's why. But yeah. But also, later on,
if they just didn't fuck up Claw, I wouldn't have a problem with that movie.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just anyway. So, but yeah. So I love like the logic, like how like the weapon and vehicle storage, and and the giant collections, like where you like the way you store the guns and you have a place to put them and everything.
Yeah, all of that was really cool. The safe houses, the player hangout spots and stuff like that. The hidden zones. I love the stash house being on the side of the mountain. That was really cool.
Yeah.
All of the game logic, like inside of the actual real building. Kind of like did you notice the surreal way in which Guy's apartment complex is just kind of like the same? It's just kind of like an architecture of just the same thing, just blip, 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 just kind of copy and paste it over and over again.
Yeah, I noticed a similarity in the buildings. I didn't really put it that it was that exactly, but I think you're right. Yeah, you're right, though.
Yeah, it was like a pretty surreal image, honestly.
Yeah, I love the heady reveal of like Free Life, how it's coded into the reflections.
Yes,
that was really clever. Cool. Yeah. Also, just the little casting. You didn't have. I gotta tell you, this is the most I've ever liked this actor because again, I disliked him so much in the show that we both seen him in. I'm not gonna try to pronounce his name, but I know I'm gonna tell you the character so you can remember him. Pache from the 2015 Muppets.
I thought I recognized that guy.
Yes, that's Pache. Spelled like pizza for the kids, but pronounced Pache.
Oh God.
So he played Mauser. He played the friend of Keys. I remember he was the bunny.
Dragon, as much as I defend Muppets 2015, that character was not one of the high points.
I gotta tell you, I was impressed that at least we gave that character an arc here.
We did.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh my God, how have we gone this long without talking about her? We got to talk about Molotov or Millie for her real name, Millie. We got to talk about Jodie Comer.
Yeah, I mean, she's solid. I'm honestly not as over the moon about her as other people seem to be. I think she's a solid lead.
You really got to see the show that she's in, though, Tiki. She's so good in it, and here I thought she did an excellent job as well. But yeah,
I think the best thing she does in the movie is kind of like switching between the two roles because the two roles are pretty. It's the same character, but they're distinct personas.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. So the reason I keep recommending the show to you is because she basically plays our parody of Norma Bates and Elektra, like mixed together. Mainly Elektra, like
oh God,
Matthew, like the whole splish splash in the blood. She plays that as a character in Killing Eve, and she's brilliant at it. Anyway, so yeah. So I was really impressed that her. I had no idea going to the movie what her real life, the Millie persona was going to be. Where finding out, okay, she's not only she a gamer, she created the game. She and Keys, they were the originators of the model.
A Gray Matter vibe.
Yeah, there is a lot of it's very much.
Yeah,
it's kind of reverse Gray Matter in terms of it's kind of like the two people versus the one
guy.
Sure,
right.
Yeah, and I thought it was a great unconventional love story, even in regards to just the guy of it all. It's just it's the fact that she's kind of fallen for her partner by proxy of Guy in a really really sweet
Craig,
way.
the way
Like they're
that you
going
do
to
bring
the
up the guy thing is a good point. I want to emphasize that. I didn't really like I kind of got what they were going for, but I really do think it would land for me more on a rewatch. So I want to give that credit. I think like I still have the criticism with Watiti, and I think
yeah.
that's more of a taste thing. But I think I'm going to be. I'm kind of slowly rolling back my criticism of him.
It's like their chemistry, just with like they're going on the date with like the bubblegum ice cream and the
Oh my god,
swings and
yeah.
that bubblegum ice cream thing I thought was so hilarious, and the fact that they
And
had
I
like
don't disagree.
tell me ask is the bubblegum ice cream is it just taste like bubblegum, or do they have like bubblegum in the ice cream?
It tastes like bubblegum, and there's little bubblegum gumballs in the ice cream. It's delicious.
I knew it. All right. Anyway, yeah. So,
And you know what else bubblegum ice cream reminds me of, Dragon?
what does it remind you of?
The ice cream truck bars. Oh god, the blue what are they called? The Blue Bell or whatever.
It's not Blue Bunny, is it?
Blue Bunny. That's the one.
Oh, it is
Bunny,
Blue
yeah.
Bunny. Right. That's okay.
Blue Bunny ice cream bars. Which I
Yeah.
swear to God, I want a sponsorship from Blue Bunny. Not like honestly, Blue Bunny, I will shout you out every podcast. You don't even have to pay me. Just send me a box of Blue Bunny ice cream bars every month. That is an offer I am putting on the table. Anyways.
Yeah. And of course, I love the. I thought the kiss was really. It's a nice moment, but also I love the gag of like because it didn't occur to me when it was happening. Okay, so he's doing the kiss, but how does she? How does that work on the other end? Where it's like, yeah, she's just kind of in shock and on the
She's
other
just
end,
kind of like awkwardly watching it. Yeah,
yeah, like
it's basically like a cutscene.
yeah, it's really clever. And of course, again, ultimately, I love how like we're. Guy's a big boy about it at the end. He's a big boy about the realization about, yeah, I'm not real. So it's this.
I loved that, Dragon. I honestly, like, that was a great. I kind of wish the whole movie would have ended on that.
Sure. I mean, it kind of. Like, basically, we have like the feel good bit where you show, okay, well, guy's got Buddy back, and I think it's a good place to end it too. Where I mean, it's pretty much ends there,
But yeah, that moment very much reminded me of like a Groundhog's Day or a Big, where it's a vaguely kind of like bittersweet ending.
Big is the proper example, Tiki. I agree with that 100%. We're basically, it's like you're rooting for this impossible relationship where Josh Baskin and I'm blanking on her name, but you're rooting for them, and it's like, oh man, if only they could. But obviously, it would be sick and wrong if you really think about it. Like, no,
that's the magic trick that Big plays.
Yep, and again, it's the same thing here. Where again, no, it's very impractical. It would not be healthy. But you want these two crazy kids to end up together. In a way, though, she does end up with them, and it's kind of it kind of worked out at the end. Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Oh, obviously. Yes, I know the third act. Overall, the third act is amazing of this film, but particularly...
I will agree. This is one of those movies that just kind of keeps getting better as it goes along.
Yes.
The bridge is great symbolism, by the way.
The what's great symbolism?
The bridge.
Yes, the bridge is really good symbolism, yeah. So it's a very, very solid third act. It's a race to get across the bridge. Before Antoine destroys everything, literally in the server room, which is a crazy sequence. Of course, I've seen. I
don't know how I feel about Taika Waititi literally with an axe in the server room, Dragon. That was a little much.
Well, to be fair, I mean, again, it's like that's the evidence that would cost him millions of dollars. So, and he's a desperate, stupid man who's not thinking about just simply unplugging the machine.
Right, exactly. I don't know. Like I said, Dragon, I really do think the line was kind of just crossed with the whole like, all right, guys, like I get greedy, but this is not greedy. This is just straight up like a guy being a lunatic.
Yeah, but again, sadly, real life now anything is possible with these, the CEOs in charge. They've done crazy things. Just look at Firefest.
Oh God.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, we have comments.
Oh, we do. Okay. Hold on. Okay, Pink Pearl. Hey there, Pink Pearl. Sorry, I'm not. Yeah, you just popped up. Good. So, let's see. Ooh, she says her friend has a cameo in it, and she's seen it Thursday. That's awesome, Pink Pearl. And yeah, I would very much recommend recommend the movie. And unfortunately, Pink Pearl, you are a little late. We're kind of getting around to the third act, but I don't, I never mind if people just go back to the back catalog and watch what we have to say from there. It's all good, no harm done. And that's really cool to see that your friend has a cameo in it. Let me know on Twitter if you can tell me like where he is, and maybe I can point him out. But anyway,
it does give me a good idea though. Before we go any further, we should talk about the cameos. But again, Pink Pearl, I'm going to warn you right now. Okay, we are in the deepest heart of the spoilers. Okay, when the third
that's
act
a good
right
point.
now.
That's a good point.
Okay, so the cameos and the third act in general, all the spoilers are here of the spoiler cast.
Yeah, I will not be offended if you turn this off right now. By all means, I would advise it, unless you just don't care about spoilers.
Okay, Nate. The friend's name is Sean McLaughlin. Is that it?
Oh, he's a streamer. Okay, it'll probably be pretty easy to point him out. Yeah,
it's
because the thing is, there's several streamers that kind of like pop up throughout the movie to give their reaction. So,
I wonder if he's the main one or not. I don't know.
I don't know if he's the main one, but it'd be because they all have their usernames in the videos, so he'd be pretty easy to spot. Okay, that's awesome, Pink Pearl.
I forget if they all played themselves or not. I forget how that works.
Ninja is in it, and he plays himself.
Yeah, that's the thing. It makes me think.
I was really hoping that I would spot someone like Scott the Woz or James Rolfe or someone I knew, but unfortunately by the way, James Rolfe put out a really baffling behind the scenes video. Like, it's nothing dramatic. It's just like, dude, your setup is just so impractical. What are you doing to yourself?
All right, so Pink Pearl says his streamer name is Jacksepticeye.
Okay, yeah. So they all have avatars, they all have usernames. That should be pretty easy to. It's not just that's actually a really cool cameo, Pink Pearl, because those streamers pop up multiple times in the movie, and it's actually like really easy to spot. It's not just like, hey, look, he's in a crowd shot. There he is. He's the guy in the blue shirt. Ryan Reynolds. No. But, all right. But Pink Pearl, seriously, we are going to be getting into some major spoiler territory.
I'm going to count it down, okay? Because we're going to talk big cameos, okay?
Okay, hold on. Let me actually get a spoiler banner up. All right, just to be safe. Just be safe.
They like the big spoilers.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. So Pink Pearl says if it helps, his background is red and blue lights. He's Irish, by the way.
That should help. Yeah.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers! And cameos.
All right.
Okay, so my favorite moment of the entire film, I think you know what it is.
Yeah, the Captain America shield.
It was awesome, and I didn't even need the cameo, but the cameo was cinched it. Like, oh my god, it was like this great, like, I loved here. Like, we earned the IPs in the film. Like, the film made a really great case for the originality and the anti-IP. But in a pinch, I think it was very well earned. It was very well deserved. Just this moment where, okay, Guy is a death blow. He's a goner, and then enter the shield. The shield pops up, saving him, and Chris Evans is baffled by it. Like, what the?
I love the Chris Evans. The shield is fine. I think the music cue was maybe a little much.
But it was like it's like basically we're having a lot of endgame moments. And come on, it's like facilitating the endgame level of our endgame boss fight. This is come on.
That's fair. Yeah.
Then he has like a Hulk. Then he has like a Hulk punch, very much like the Hulk smash. Like, that's my secret captain. I'm always angry. Bam! Then we have like all the really cool weapons and everything. Like, they have like I don't know what game it's from. I'm blanking on. They have like, there's like a gravity gun, and then you have like
I believe the gravity gun is Ratchet and Clank.
That makes sense. That sounds right. They have like a portal gun from something else, and of course we then have the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I don't know how I feel about the lightsaber, just because I feel like that's a little overdone at this point. Like, we've seen lightsaber battles and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, but again, it's kind of like the universal thing with Star Wars. It's like everyone's getting. Plus, it
Well, I
was
mean, I feel like the whole point of that scene is like, hey, look, Fox movie, Disney IP. Yeah.
yep.
I don't know. To me, it was a little bit on the nose, but if you liked it, that's fine. I didn't dislike it. I didn't really think it was all that clever. But
Well, again, I'm specifically gotta go over like the shield moment, but I'm just saying in general though, it's like I think I like that we didn't do it all throughout the movie. We saved it for like
okay,
one
but
very
Dragon, we're
specific
burying the lead on this scene though, because the best moment of this, the best element of the scene is not the cameos. It is the character. My favorite character in the movie, Dude.
Yes, so I haven't looked into it. I don't know if it's like a face replacement or if they put him in like a suit like they did Fat Thor in Endgame. I don't know how they did it, but it's
Dragon,
amazing.
I love Dude so much that I legitimately am like championing him to be the main character of the next movie.
You really like him that much? I mean, I like him too, but I'm
much.
just saying sequely that much.
Like, I am saying that he seems like he'd be like the side character who just completely steals the show in the first movie, and that I would like Guy would still be there. Guy would be like, essentially in the buddy role for him.
Basically, you want to Krunk Snoo Groove him.
Yeah, and I feel like there's like with the title Free Dude, I feel like the whole thing is, he has a bunch of bugs in his programming that need to be picked, that need to be fixed up. That'd be the plot. Free Dude. All right. Anyways, but Dude is just such a fun concept of, just this NCP who's just totally just like, like he just comes up and just like catchphrase TBD.
Sorry, but he says catchphrase.
No, it's so great. It's so great. That was that catchphrase line was like the biggest. I mean, the catchphrase line mixed with just the visual reveal of him is just awesome.
And again, I love everything too, just like the creation of Dude. I just love the fact that he's a rushed cash in of like, oh yeah, people are before Antoine completely turned on Guy, like he's gonna ruin the game, he's gonna find the proof and everything. It's like, hey, I want to cash in on everyone loving this guy. Stop trying to kill him. Let's put him in the next game. Like do something kind of make him jacked up and cool. Basically make him a dude bro sort of guy, like douche. I don't know, like do something like that. And of course, I love they tattooed the blue shirt on the back.
The blue shirt tattoo was amazing. Yeah,
just so people know who he is because he's so recognizable. Oh, it's Blue Shirt Guy.
And because of course, unlike Blue Shirt Guy, this guy's never gonna put his shirt on. Dragon, he's going to be constantly shirtless.
Did you see the marketing thing that they did with Dude?
No, Dude was a complete surprise to me in the movie, and I'm glad of that.
I know you're lucky. It's hilarious. I avoided seeing him in action. I think I had like one glimpse at him, but I didn't want anything else. I didn't want to know what the deal was or anything. So I had no idea what the logic was behind it. So I went essentially clean. But there's a thing where basically Ryan Reynolds, he spins it as he Dude is what he actually looks like, and they CG him down. Like basically he bulked up for the role or something. And there's a great gag where he basically, sure I can't put. He has like the Deadpool suit out on the bed. He basically there's an attempt to put it on. Sure I can't fit into the Deadpool suit anymore, but and like he conceived one of his children as Dude, and they came out with like shoes on. It's hilarious.
All right, that's funny. Yeah.
Anyways,
overall, Dragon, Dude, like I said, I don't think a ton of the humor in this movie really lands for me. It's more the heart of the movie and the world building that lands. But Dude is the exception. Dude is so fucking funny. I laughed at pretty much every single little gesture and moment that we had on screen with Dude. He is easily the funniest concept in the whole movie for me.
Okay, two things about Dude. One, I love just the tension of that bout initially. It's the optimism versus the cynicism embodied. What is just being streamed to the world, and they're all rooting for our guy. They're all rooting for the underdog to win. And I love the fact that Guy, if I'm correct, still he doesn't really kill anyone in the movie. He doesn't even kill the big boss level. He basically it's such an ingenious solution for how to deal with this new lovable, hilarious, over the top character who is scary, but we soften him by, do what happened to Guy. He puts the glasses on him, and now he's He's being enamored himself. He's having his own awakening and his own arc in its beginning. So he's just kind of going off. So we didn't kill him. We didn't boss battle, annihilate him or anything. It's fine. We found a non-lethal way to dispatch him because that's what Guy is. Guy is he's not bloodthirsty like the rest of the GTA crowd.
Uh-huh.
So some of the other cameos got to highlight real quick is, like you said, did you catch Hugh Jackman?
No, I didn't actually.
That's really great. Okay, so Hugh Jackman was like the first cameo in the movie, where when Molotov is getting the big tip of like where the location is for the file, the big mountainy base. She's talking to a gamer, and the idea is the guy's put on an accent filter, and he's asking, "Hey, are you using an accent filter?" The guy's creepily hitting on her, and then she hits him. That's Hugh Jackman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, again, I don't know. Dwayne Johnson's supposed to be a henchman in the movie, but I have to watch it again to get him. But the sad.
First, I thought that dude was going to be Dwayne Johnson.
Well, I mean, again, I don't know how they did it. Maybe I don't know.
Do you think maybe Dwayne Johnson's body is nude? Is that what you're suggesting?
That's what I'm suggesting. They have to cover up the
I don't know about that.
I mean, he could do the peck thing. I mean,
I don't know. That's a leap.
No,
I feel like if they did something like that, we would have heard about it in the marketing.
Of course, this little fact, we're getting some Ryan Reynolds friends in the movies this way too, where you have Hugh Jackman, which he has like the hilarious ongoing feud with, and you have Dwayne Johnson from Hobbs and Shaw, which he was in as well. So that's funny. But I'm not half joking about the Dwayne Johnson. I'm just saying we don't know how they did that. I don't know if it's a guy or not. If it's a guy, I mean, they have to be a stretch, but it'd be kind of cool though.
Movie magic, Dragon.
Exactly. Now there is an important cameo though that we should talk about. Alex Trebek.
Oh God, that got me. Got me. Yeah,
that's the last of it. I don't know if they. I don't know exactly like the last thing they shot while he was sick or shot like in the midst of all those pre-tapings or not. But it's the last of Trebek on film, for all I understand. It's yeah. So I mean, it was a fun bit. It was a nice part of the plot too, showing how much. Yeah, how saturated into the consciousness Guy was. So it was a nice way by Trebek, the most credible source out there.
Yeah,
a man who knew things, a man who helped people learn things. Alex
Trebek, the man who knew things,
and helped people learn things.
That's just going to be the name of the biopic, the man who knew things.
Yes.
All right. Anyways,
all right. Let's see. Again, overall, it's because we kind of sparse about it. The action overall very well composed, I thought. And again, I like the non-violent kind of characteristic of Guy.
Isn't it funny when you let the action just kind of like you let the camera follow the characters as they do cool action, and you don't just do the shaky cam cut every 5 seconds bullshit that's in every other blockbuster. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, and it makes sense to do it in a game too, where you want to see all the combat.
I'm just saying, I'm just like Paul Green. I think we're slowly getting out of that, but man, Paul Greengrass just killed action movies for me for a while.
And again, I love we have a great action signature, like you'd have in all the Jackie Chan movies, where many a time there's going to be an intent behind the action, like a goal within the scene.
Sure,
in this case, you have a character. Okay, so Guy. He's a non-violent character, but again, he definitely has to fight people, but he's going to try not to kill people, So it's just like he breaks a guy's arm, he's so horrified, like, oh God, I'm so sorry. Which again, complete opposite of Deadpool. It's hilarious. All right, so the ending, I really like the ending of the movie. I'm not honestly, I like the ending on all fronts, but I particularly like the deal that we make with Antoine. I like that we strike this deal, almost like a folktale, Teak. It's almost like the old folktales you could hear in school or something, where it's like, you make a deal with the evil, greedy king that you think, oh, that's a fool's deal. Basically, you keep the IP and the sequel rights and the money, essentially, but you let me keep the server, which is essentially my Nobel Peace Prize find of an artificial intelligence, which, by the way, I think it's a clever idea with kind of there's enough pseudoscience that kind of support that,
Oh, I do too.
There's the fact of a game that's designed to learn from the players that could actually kind of build into an AI. I kind of buy that. It's kind of cool. Anyway, so yeah, it's making this fool's deal that Antoine laughs at. That essentially it's like, hey, then we get to make the game that we've won over the world with this Guy character. They want to see this character, and they want to basically they're tired of just like the wanton terror, and they've seen a better way. And people want it's very logical. People want quality over quantity. At least that's the hope. It's the hope that people want quality over quantity. Like, I want more. I want a whole series of games. I don't care what they're about. I just want more. I want numbers. I want trivial entertainment versus like, I want a nice game.
Sure.
Want something nice. Again, it's the indie versus the corporate sort of thing. Even though it doesn't have like the big fancy title, it's going to have the quality there. Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Dragon. Really good themes. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've pretty much ran the gauntlet on this one, right?
Yeah. Guy, he lost the girl, but he got his buddy back, and they had the freedom to do anything. I mean, what better, what better an ending could you have? I mean, we already kind of talked up the sequel potential and everything. I mean, the interesting thing, though, we should just to mention. So now it has been. So now we've been bought by Disney from the start, and Disney definitely wants to do another one. I think it's at risk of stealing from the Deadpool 3 premise. I wonder if that's here's the thing, T. Before you suggested the dude idea, which I mean I could see. I don't know how much legs it's got, but it's definitely a way to start.
I'm just saying, like, dude kind of stole the show for me. So, like, for me, I don't even know how realistic of an idea it is, but for me personally, it that character really jumped out.
It's basically, I heard, so officially after the movies come out, Disney says they want in, and they're going to, they're definitely want to pursue a Free Guy too, which is going to be interesting given the first one was not produced, it was not made while Disney was, holding the rights and everything.
Uh-huh.
So it's this question of where do we go from here? And the only story I can think of essentially is what we're probably going to do in Deadpool 3, which makes you wonder who's going to get to the finish line first on that one, where, hey, what if we've been bought by Disney? What if that's the story? It's just the,
I don't necessarily, I think there's a lot of story potential for both franchises outside of that idea. I just think you and I are really big fans of meta humor, so we're like attached to that idea.
I mean, honestly, I kind of want to deal with that sort of stuff only with Deadpool 3.
I would rather see it with Deadpool than with Free Guy. I will say that much.
And that bears the question.
Because with Free Guy, I worry with Free Guy, we would essentially be veering into Ralph Breaks the Internet territory if being involved.
I hear you on that, Tegan. That's what I'm saying. That's the only idea I can think of, which already fits better with Deadpool 3, is that I have no idea where you go. Dude. I know, that's what I'm saying. Your idea is the only one I've heard of that could be anything, because it seem like I feel this film should have been a one and done, but then again, I'm not one to turn down a Ryan Reynolds.
I don't necessarily agree with that, just because I feel like if you have a high concept and there's room to play around in the toy box, like, honestly, why not? Like, to that extent, I'm still kind of like, I really would love a sequel to Inception that will probably never happen, for example. So I am a believer. It's like, if you've got a world with good ideas and good concepts, like, I do think you can do a lot of stuff with it.
I mean, look, I hope to God you're right, because again, just seeing how well this film,
I just don't want to. The last thing I want to see is just like, hey, look, it's Oh My Disney again.
Yeah, I mean, beyond that, I'm worried that, again, I think the film hit the theme so well, I'm worried that they might compromise their footing. Like, hey, now we're a franchise when we were very anti-franchise in the first movies. That's my fear, and I'm saying
commentary about franchises.
See, that's what I'm saying. I just hope they have something to say about it that's going to go over as well as what we did here. Which again, they could. I'm just not thinking about what that could be, because again, I'm hoping better minds than I could crack that. So I mean, I'm hoping you're right. I'm hoping they're going to be able to find some really good directions to go, which I can't think of personally, but I'm rooting for them, because I really like this movie.
Okay, well, big thanks to Pink Pearl in the chat. Of course, like every week, we will be doing Monsters at Work and also Marvel What If recaps, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. Dragon, should we, what do you think of the poll? We do have a winner for the poll with the Disney debate, but do you want to give it a week or two, or not a week, but another day or two, or do you want to
think we should give it some time, yeah.
Okay, how much longer?
Well, you can put me on the spot now.
I want to just put it on the spot just so we can talk about it off air. It's fine. I just want to make an announcement about it.
Right.
But okay, folks. Well, see you guys later, and don't have a good night.
Have a great night.